Welcome. Today we take a journey through a peculiar story, allegedly true by those who claim to be there, but I implore you to be the judge. Stay around until the end as I attempt to dissect the truth from fiction. This is the story of the Palmyra Wolves. Eric Martin and his family lived in the small town of Palmyra in Maine. It had been a troubling time for the family since Eric's injury had left him unable to work. They had bought themselves a large farmhouse on the outskirts of the town, which had a large field with plenty of land and a barn. With the home so isolated, surrounded by a dark forest on all sides, it was almost inevitable for dark tales to hit home. Their first year went by with little concern, but early in 2006, the family began to experience a terror that placed them at the very heart of a horror story. Sitting on their porch, coffee in hand, a practice common between the two, Eric and his wife Shelley were enjoying each other's company and taking in the cool winter air. However, in the distance, Shelley spotted orbs of light emanating from the darkness of the forest. How peculiar, they thought. Nothing and no one should be out there. There are no roads or trails, and they're situated so far from their neighbours. Whoever was out there had no reason to be. Being an avid hunter in his earlier life, Eric suspected maybe poachers had entered his land. He shouts for his son, and the two go out to investigate. As they approach the forest, the lights seem to fade, deeper as if drawing them in. But now, as they crossed into the brush, mere meters into the woods, the lights had almost vanished. They heard a noise. Footfalls and crunches to their left. With their torches illuminating nothing, and unable to tell if the noise emanated from man or animal, they shouted a final word of warning and headed back out of the forest. This event had not caused the family much concern, and approximately 1 month later, Eric's daughter Chelsea and her boyfriend Nathan decided to take the two family dogs for a walk in the woods. Deep in the woods now, the dogs pick up a scent and dart off into the distance. When Chelsea and Nathan finally catch up, they found the dogs dead still by a large hole in a mound. Upon a close inspection, the mound presented as more of a den. The structure looked purpose-built, and the distinct hole more of an entrance. Being young and naive, the two didn't know what to make of the structure. Nathan, feeling brave at the time, peeked his head inside, but overcome quickly with an unnatural urge to flee, they both departed quickly. Now back at the home, they express what they found to the family, and it triggers Eric to disclose the previous event, which turns out had taken place in the same vicinity the kids were exploring. Many months go by, but back on the porch, amidst their evening coffee ritual, with the previous events now thoughts of the past, Eric and Shelley glared out to their land. They noticed a mist begin to develop, and then the woods fell silent. Curious, they began searching with flashlights, not sure what they were looking for. Simple intrigue had drew their curiosity, but there was nothing. No signs of beast or man, and no obvious disturbance to explain the silence. Something was wrong. Shelley, being quick to shrug it off, resumed their conversation, but Eric didn't feel as inclined to let it go. He felt anxious and uncomfortable. Unable to shake this feeling, he grabbed Shelley and went inside. However, as they turned their backs, they heard something. Scanning the tree line, now more frantic and bewildered, their eyes land on 3 sets of eyes, staring back. There, standing in the field, were 3 huge, dark creatures. Upon being spotted, the creatures charged towards Eric and Shelley, so fast that the torch could no longer keep them illuminated. Panicking and screaming, they slammed the door. Silence. Perhaps it had been a dream, an illusion of the night. But then, as if cued to perfection, they heard snarling and crunches on the driveway. Peeking through the windows, Shelley now sees 5 large, wolf-like creatures pacing peacefully on the gravel. Eric, unable to decide on a course of action, begins pacing back and forth. They need to barricade the house. They need to escape. With his injury, he felt helpless. After calming herself down, Shelley went upstairs to wake Chelsea and inform her of the situation. It was then that she decided to get a better view of the beast from her upstairs window. Pulling back the curtain, so slight and cautious, not to make a sound, she peered out. The largest of the beasts immediately locks eyes, startling her, but as their gazes continue, the beast rises from its feet and now towered menacingly on its hind legs. It was huge, taller than any man or beast Shelley had ever seen. Snapped out of her trance, Shelley backs away, wondering if one had got in. She searched high and low, securing windows where she could, and hoping the perceived flimsy house would keep her family safe. Turning the corner to her bedroom, she spotted the family dogs hiding in the corner. Comforting them, and then hollering Chelsea into the master bedroom, they all huddled together on the floor. And it was then that they heard the front door to the house begin to unlock. Eric, who was still pacing around the ground floor, now had a plan. He pulled back the curtains and looked for the creatures. Nothing. The beasts are gone. They'd gone back to the field and were now in the same spot where they had been originally. Filled with a sense of purpose and doing all he can to protect his family, he took a quick scan and, feeling content, unlocked the door. The wolves didn't move. They just sat staring at the side of the house, mocking the family. Quietly, he made his way to his truck. But as he edges near, he realizes the mistake he's made. His motion detection light activates, illuminating him and attracting the wolves' attention. Looking over, Eric sees them all in the field and one standing, bipedal, at least 8 feet tall. As quickly as injury will let him, he rushes back to the home, hearing the familiar crunching of footsteps on his driveway, followed quickly by the hard foot of paws on his porch. He had made it back in the nick of time, and now stood in the center of his home. He saw shadows swallow him from all sides. With the beasts now close, and the revelation he had dropped his keys outside, he starts to barricade his home best he can, and made his way to join the others in the master bedroom. With nothing left they could do, the family decided it's time to phone the police. But what would they say? And if almost scripted from a horror movie, the police refused to come. Thinking the family mistaken with a bear, the police do nothing. The noises outside grew louder, scratching, bumping, snarling, all relentless. But then it stopped. Silence enveloped the house once more. A true silence. Something was still out there, but where? Something large had hit their porch roof. They now heard the unfamiliar sound of footsteps and growls from directly outside their first floor windows. Huddled together now on the bed, the family can think of nothing more to do as they wait for the sun and a hoped end to this horror. Palmyra Wolves story was a story that fascinated me when I first heard about it. Eric and his family claim it to be true, and have no obvious reason to lie. Adding to the mystery, Maine is well known for large beast sightings, and is home to numerous large bears. Wolves are uncommon, but travel down from Canada from time to time, so it's not unheard of. Also, wolves can be much larger than people realise. When the sun finally dawned on their farmhouse, the family went outside and found large paw prints in the gravel and scratches to the exterior of their home. Yet I can find no photographic evidence of these claims online. Others have claimed to have seen police records that show images and state the experts measured the wolf prints to be as big as 3 times a normal wolf size, and scratch marks as high as 12 feet. But again, researchers brought up only hearsay. Another similar story from the area around Palmyra came out in 2018, with large beasts attacking a teenager's camp. But again, trying to find photographic proof, I hit a brick wall. Eric's family say they have no idea what haunted them that night, and their son, who was not in the house at the time, says his family wouldn't make something like this up. People from the town also report similar incidents and don't doubt the family's story. People have allegedly gone looking for the house described by the family, but don't ever seem to find it, which again makes the story hard to believe. But do I think they're lying? I think they were mistaken and spent a night being stalked by large wolves. Animals can do odd things, and I always find these stories unnatural in composition. I believe real supernatural and paranormal wouldn't be as passive, but what do you think? Comment below and share your thoughts. Thank you for listening. If you like this content and want to hear more, then please like, subscribe, throw a comment, and share this video. It will help me out immensely. I will be uploading at least one new story a week, with many shorts in between. I hope to see you next time.